Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Suddhaspadiga Sankasham Shuddha Vidya Pradayakam Shuddham Purnam Chidanandam Sadashivamaham Shraye Shankarupena Mukshutvam Panke Kritam Abhodhyaya Kim Kariyasya Samaya Shankaracharya Mashraye Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Mande Guru Paramparam Bharathi Karunapatram Bharathi Padabhushanam Bharathi Padamarudam Bharathi Tirthamashriye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Mande Vedanta Tattvabodha Vibhushekara Bharatim Mala Sudhakumba Vibhoda Mudra Vidya Virajat Karavari Jatam Apara Karunya Sudham Purajim Sri Sharadambam Pranatosmi Nityam. The author introduced Tattvabodha as the subject matter of this text, a knowledge which will lead one to liberation, moksha. To acquire this knowledge, self-knowledge, a person should acquire requisite qualifications, eligibility conditions, which is called Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, fourfold qualifications. The author enumerated and explained all the fourfold qualifications. What are the qualifications? Discrimination, which is vivekaha, that is discriminative power to understand what is permanent and what is impermanent. Dispassion, which is detachment, vairagyam, freedom from slavery or addiction to sensory pleasures and objects. Discipline, sixfold, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, that is sixfold Shatka Sampatti. Desire, these are the four qualifications. Out of these four, we have already seen three of them. We have to see the last one, which is desire. We will see now. Fourth qualification is desire. Desire for what? Of course, to get self-knowledge. It is presented formally by the author as follows. The student raises the question regarding the fourth qualification. Mumukshutvam kim? O Guru, what is mumukshutvam? For which the Guru answers, Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha. Ichha is desire, intense desire, an intense yearning, tibra ichha for the attainment of moksha. Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha, which is the fourth Purushartham, Chaturvida Purushartham we saw long time back. In that, the last one is Shreyas, which is a desire for moksha, which is called mumukshutvam. The desire is called mumuksha, and the person who has the desire is mumukshu. The person who has the desire for moksha should work for self-knowledge, because self-knowledge is the only means for getting moksha, which is attainment of freedom, liberation. If you have the desire for freedom, you have to learn self-knowledge. If you desire for self-knowledge, you should acquire the required qualifications. So our spiritual journey is, first we must get the qualification, then we should get the self-knowledge, finally we have to feel liberated, we have to attain moksha. This is our spiritual journey. People may ask, why should I work for moksha? Why at all should I be worried about freedom? I am already free. People may feel. People feel this way because they don't know the value of freedom, spiritual freedom. This is why at the beginning of this text itself, I told about the importance, the benefits of Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. You remember fivefold benefits which are put together is called moksham, freedom. What are those fivefold benefits? Briefly, we will just go through that. Jignasa nivrittihi, vidyananda praptihi, karpanya nivrittihi, aghata nivrittihi, dakshata praptihi. These are the fivefold benefits. That is, karpanya nivritti is freedom from slavery or addiction to the people, to the objects, worldly objects. Aghata nivrittihi is immunity from the shocks of worldly experiences. Dakshata praptihi, efficiency in whatever undertaking you take in your life. All these above five benefits put together is called moksha. So if you see all this, that is freedom from slavery, immunity from shocks, and efficiency in whatever we do in our life, who will say we don't want? It is quite natural that everyone will work for moksha, will desire for moksha. If you want moksha, you have to get self-knowledge. If you have to get self-knowledge, you have to acquire the qualification. Now, the author concludes this section with this verse. Yetat sadhana chatushtayam tataha tattva vivekasya adhikarino bhavanti. Yetat means this fourfold qualifications explained above in the previous sections, which are technically known as sadhana chatushtayam. Sadhana chatushtayam. You may add in your scriptural vocabulary sadhana chatushtayam, self-knowledge, Tattvabodha, etc. Tataha means once a person has acquired the self-knowledge, once a person has acquired the fourfold qualifications, then adhikarino bhavanti. The person becomes an adhikari, that is an eligible person, a qualified person. Adhikari, you should not take a gazetted officer or government officer or something like that, because they are also called adhikari in the local parlance. But here, adhikari means eligible person, qualified person. So he is eligible for what? Tattva vivekasya. He is eligible to get self-knowledge. Tattvabodha. Tattvabodha means self-knowledge. Thus, the author has enumerated and explained all the fourfold qualifications to enter into self-knowledge, to ultimately get freedom. If I enjoy these fourfold qualifications right now, then I will be the eligible person to start self-knowledge, to start the course. If I don't have these qualifications, what should I do? I want to learn self-knowledge because I have the knowledge, I have idea about the benefits of moksham. Therefore, I need to get self-knowledge. But unfortunately, I do not have qualifications. What should I do? In general terms, like in normal materialistic studies, if one doesn't have the requisite qualification for attaining a particular degree or post-graduation or for any entrance examination, it is quite natural for people to join a training center or coaching center where they will train you to write the exam and qualify. Here, do we have any such coaching centers, training institutes or academy or anything like that? Nothing is there. The author also doesn't explain how one person should get these four qualifications. He presumes that the student who has come for Tattvabodha is already qualified. This is his presumption. Therefore, he doesn't explain in this text as to how to get these fourfold qualifications. A person wants to go to US he has to write some examination like GRE, TOEFL, so many other exams which I am not very familiar with. So if he has to do that, he has to go to a coaching center. So here, to get the qualification, there is no institute at all. Now the question is how to get these qualifications, because you say there is no training center. What do I do? What is the method of getting these fourfold qualifications? For these, Lord Krishna gives an elaborate answer in various chapters in Bhagavad Gita. Although this author does not enumerate how to get these qualifications in this text, Bhagavan Krishna has enumerated all these qualifications and how to attain these qualifications in Bhagavad Gita. In this context, I will give you the essence of Lord Krishna's teaching in this regard. He says there is only one method to acquire the fourfold qualifications. What is that method? Is Karma Yoga. It is the only method by which a person can attain sadhana chatushtayam. Now, what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is not a particular action done for a particular day or few days or few months. It is a way of life. One has to follow this Karma Yoga for a length of time, for a number of years. It is not a few years or few months or anything like that. It is for many years. One has to follow a life of Karma Yoga. It is not a crash program. It is not an instant program, instant course, like instant coffee or instant noodles and all those. It is not like that. It is not a crash program. Karma Yoga, in simple language, we can say it is a religious way of life, religious lifestyle. A person has to go through religious lifestyle for many number of years to get the degree called SCS, that is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Like BSc and MSc and all those degrees which we acquire in the material world. To get a normal BSc, BCom or MSc post-graduation degrees nowadays, we have to toil for about 20 to 25 years, right from pre-LKG days. It is nowadays, it's a norm, it seems, to get into LKG, you have to admit your child to this pre-LKG section. Then only you will get admission into the school. So this is a new norm, new way of life, you don't know. So this 20-25 years of life one has to go through in elementary school, higher secondary school, then college and all those to get a normal degree. So what to talk of a spiritual degree, spiritual qualification? One should not hesitate to lead a life of religious life. A spiritual qualification therefore requires much more effort, much more time also to be spent. It cannot happen overnight. Anything attained through crash course, it is bound to get crashed. It is not going to be permanently available with you. It has to be cultivated and nourished. So, Karma Yoga or religious way of life involves three things, basically three things. I will explain to you, briefly explain to you what are these. Sat Karmani, Sat Gunaha, Sat Bhavanaha. In Bhagavad Gita, as I told, Krishna elaborates in few chapters about all this Karma Yoga. First, we will see what is Sat Karmani. Sat Karmani means noble actions, which are nothing but good actions, in which number of beneficiaries are more. So, greater the number of beneficiaries, superior will be the actions as far as spiritual impact is concerned. Lesser the number of beneficiaries, naturally lesser will be the benefit of spiritual action, spiritual benefit. So the inferior most karma, you know what? Any action which you do wherein there is only one beneficiary. Who is that? Of course, you. So you are the only beneficiary. If you do any such karma, which is the inferior most karma according to our Vedanta Shastra. Therefore, Sat Karmani or noble karmas, or if you remember Panchamaha Yajna, we referred long time back, Parobakara Karmani, wherein the number of beneficiaries are more. You may also be one of the beneficiaries. There is nothing wrong in that. You can also be included, but you are not supposed to be the only one beneficiary. That is the point to be noted. So Panchamaha Yajna is what? Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, Manushya Yajna, Brahma Yajna, and finally Bhuta Yajna. This is Sat Karmani. Then second one is Sat Gunaha, healthy virtues, morals, values, healthy values such as truthfulness, compassion, humility, consideration for others and others, etc. Sadbhavana, the third one is Sadbhavana, healthy attitude towards everything in the creation. Healthy attitude towards our family members, our neighbors, fellow human beings, living beings, including animals and plants. Our general attitude in Sanatana Dharma, in Hindu culture, is a reverential attitude. Reverential attitude towards everything in this creation. We don't look upon the creation as an enemy to be conquered, but we have to consider the entire creation as our friend, with which we have to work, we have to move on with our life, we have to grow. That is why in our culture we treat everything with a reverential attitude. Everything includes what? Earth, air, water, sun, moon, plants, animals, human beings. You take anything, it has to be treated reverentially. Food, money is Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. So we treat everything reverentially. That is why, even if you happen to put your foot accidentally on even a paper, newspaper for example, immediately you pick it up, put it in your eyes and then keep it in a safe place. Even if it is a normal newspaper, what to talk of money. So that is a reverential attitude. Animals like cows, we worship cows. All are sacred for us. This is one Sadbhavana, plus Sadbhavana regarding other things also. Like for example, when you go to a guru and learn from him Vedantic teaching or any Shastric teaching, we have to sit down and guru has to be put in a higher platform, higher pedestal, so that the knowledge flows down from the guru to the students. Nowadays, the classroom has a gallery sort of. So students will sit, like in a step by step, and the last step may be, like about 15-20 feet higher. So from there, the student will view the teacher. Poor fellow, he will be standing, he will be writing on the blackboard with a piece of chalk and all this. He has to explain everything, looking upwards to the students, which is not a good, healthy attitude. Guru has to be kept in a higher platform, higher pedestal. Because it is Vidya, it is knowledge, any knowledge, even science is knowledge for us, is sacred because it is Saraswati, and therefore Guru is also to be treated as equal to God with reverential attitude. That is very important. Sadbhavana. So we have seen three: Sad Karmani, Sad Gunaha, Sadbhavana. A combination of these three is religious way of life. That is why in the beginning stages of one's life, considerable portion of the initial stages of life has to be spent in religious activities, religious way of life, so that our mind also gets more matured. We will get more values. That is the attitude of religious way of life. Our Veda is a ocean, we saw that. The first part of Veda concentrates on karma yoga, religious life, which will give me the eligibility criteria or required qualification will give. Once I have acquired this qualification, then I become eligible for Vedanta, Jnanam, self-knowledge. The first part gives Jnana Yogyata, and second part of teaching, second part of Veda, it is like a relay race. There is no break, it is continuous. Second part of Veda is Vedantam, which teaches me Jnana Yogam, which is Atma Jnanam, self-knowledge is taught. Therefore, the whole Vedic culture is Karma Purvam, Karma Kandam plus Jnana Kandam, Veda plus Vedantam. Both put together is freedom from Bandhagatvam, freedom from slavery. This is moksham. The author teaches second part, Tattvabodha, in detail, and takes us for granted that all of us have gone through the first part of Veda, that is Karma Yoga. We all know where we stand. If we do not have the qualifications, we have to start acquiring this fourfold qualifications right from today. Better late than never. It is not that everything is lost. We still have a lot of time. So we can start practicing religious way of life from today. So follow this basic three things which is taught by Bhagavan, none other than Bhagavan Krishna. Sat Karmani, Sat Gunaha, Sat Bhavana, by which we acquire the qualifications. And then once you begin to learn the self-knowledge, it will be very clear for you, and then you will get moksha. This is the journey of spiritual growth. With this, I complete this class. From the next session, we will discuss in detail about Tattvabodha. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari